Good evening and welcome to the Sunday Night Takeaway Show. Episode 12, believe it or not, guys, it's episode 12. We've gone through a few already so far. How are we all keeping? Fuzzy, how are you? Fuzzgate, as we see there.
Keeping all right. I think the more that Gareth Southgate proves he's a bad manager for England, I think the more people sort of see it for what it actually is, and the less likely he comes to take the Man United job that everyone's hoping he does in the summer. That'll truly be the end of us. But aside from that, outside of football, everything seems to be all right with the world. So yeah, it's all good.
Good stuff. Me and Anthony have already bought our black suits for you anyway for that day that comes along. So
definitely.
We've all got our three-piece suits. You've got your waistcoat, and me and Anthony's got our black suits. We're ready for you.
My double-breasted waistcoat that I literally cannot fit into. I'm having to suck in a bit just to make it fit. It's not comfortable.
Superb. Anthony, how are we doing?
Oh, not too bad today too. Had a good day. Listen, me and Jez, we did a watch along yesterday with the England and Brazil game.
Fair play to the pair of you for doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was absolute shit. It was absolute. The game was shit. I enjoyed the watch along. Like, obviously being on with Jez and communicating with the chat and having a laugh. But apart from that, I didn't even think we had a bloody shot on goal, did we? Seeing that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was no style of play.
Yeah.
Let's just go to the chat before I come to Jez, because there's something interesting I've found of Jez anyway. Sable team, good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Yeah, I think we're all doing well there. And he's saying hello to in the chat. Big up to Lenny Moon. Big up, brothers. Best show of the week. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Henry Ray. We're doing, and obviously to Daniel E as well. Good afternoon and evening to you, mate. So they were saying hello in there. And of course, as always, DJ Crane, great panel. Thank you, matey. And oi, happy Amaret. Hope you're keeping well. And the myth, the legend himself, Carl Rossi. How are we doing, Carl? Hope you're keeping well, mate.
Yeah,
hopefully, we'll be joined with, we might get Budgie and maybe Yeti on. Hopefully, we'll see. Good evening to Mama Flossie. Hope you're doing evening panel. Evening, Mama. Hope you're well. And evening to Aguna Matata. Good evening, all Gunas or not. Absolutely, yes. So they're all saying big up to the assembled, even gentlemen in the chat room. Prem needs to hurry up. I'm bored of internationals. Yeah, wait till Tuesday, Henry. You're going to love that one. That game was a bore fest. Maybe appreciate Moy's ball.
Yeah.
Everyone's views. Evening to Miss Melina. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you in here as well. And also evening Sharky. Evening to everyone as well. They're just saying hello to each other. And how are we doing, Jess?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Recovered from that ball fest of a game yesterday. I mean, thank goodness Anthony was there, and thank goodness the chat was there, because that was boring. It was so boring, and this is why I say I don't watch international football.
Exactly.
Kenny agreed. He said it was a boring game, and he loves the international games, as you all know, but it was awful. As Anthony said, we didn't have a shot on target.
No, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jez, is this you in your younger years?
Yeah.
Jack Decker, boogie set, new bottle, old wine.
Yeah, that's me, man. and I did have a beard back then as well.
See, I saw this and I thought, so that's got to be Jez, surely.
That's got to be Jez. Top rocker.
Yeah, that's me, man. Yeah, definitely me.
Mate.
God.
So, yes.
Almost his own rendition of the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Williams is asking thoughts on Arsenal's match up against City next week.
Big game. Huge Huge game.
Will be a big game. Will be a big game.
Yeah, definitely a big game. I fancy winning that game. To be honest with you, I really do. I mean, I think I don't personally think Saka is injured. I just feel like he had the right to step down and play for England. You know, I don't think he really wanted to, which you can't blame him. And then yeah, I think he'd be in the game Sunday. Personally, there's talk of Gabriel whether he's going to be back or not, but
Apologies.
whether he's back or not, you know. But it's funny, this time last season we actually lost Saliba, so you know. But fingers crossed, I think we can do it. We can most probably scrape a win over the line.
Should be good. Big up AFC always, and also hello to Lee. Lee Stephen, hello everyone. He's saying there. So yes, going there. Just go from there. So obviously the news. We go on that one first of all. That Kate, the Princess of Wales, obviously diagnosed with cancer. So a bit of a shame there. As always, asking everyone to kind of not kind of lay onto her with the press, which is obviously, as you know, it's a big thing these days. And here he is, full of shit. He ain't injured. Laugh out loud, yeah. Kane and Maguire. How are we doing, Yeti? Hope you're keeping well, mate. Jez, did you see the 1970 World Cup competition via TV, or do you remember it?
Oh, I watched it on telly as a little kid. I was, how old was I in 1970? I'd have been just 10. Just 10. And I do, that's the first World Cup I remember ever watching. And I remember the first opening game. It was Brazil against Russia. And it was a 0-0 draw. Remember that? I remember sitting there watching it with my dad. And my dad was not a big football fan, to be fair, but and it was late. It was on the opening game was late on a Friday night, I think. And because there was no school the next day, I was allowed to stay up and watch it. But yeah, I mean, it was great Brazil team. You know, watching Rivellino, what was his name? Rivellino and all that lot. And that amazing Brazilian and the Italian team, of course, that got to the final. And, of course, England got knocked out in the semis. And the West Germany team, of course, that England beat in 66. So it was an amazing World Cup for a little kid, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so as I was going about with Kate, Princess of Wales there, it just kind of led me on to my friend. You guys in the panel know a friend of mine recently passed away. And unfortunately, you know, he would have been his 50th next month. So he is sorely missed. And I've just done a little tribute. I mean, his friends and family might be actually watching this on the show, on the stream itself. So this is a little dedication for him and that. So I want to get it out of the way with and remember him as I did as a young age. I knew this kid when he was 2 years old. And I've known his family since his eldest brother was the same age as me. So Anthony, how old am I?
Blimey. What are you? 64?
So yeah, I've known him all this time. So this is a little tribute for my friend Gideon. So I hope you don't mind all this, guys. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. And thanks for everyone in the chat for their comments and that. Much appreciated. And that cancer is awful. We've all likely known someone who's been struck down by this disease, and I feel for everyone involved. And of course, our friend Budgie, as you know, he's going through it himself at the moment. So as always, give our respects to him as well. Look who's come into the chat. How are we doing, Richard? I hope you're keeping well, mate. Hope you're
Big
keeping
up,
well.
Dick.
Big up, Dick. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. I just remember about first my dad wasn't football, but he'd watch Brazil. And rest in peace. Thanks, Mama. Thanks, DJ Crane. And big up to Punk Revolution Football. Thanks for coming in. Well done, Tony. We all miss him. Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do. And his legacy will live on, as they say. And we just got to think of his kids and look after them at the end of the day. So, first things first. We talked about it last week, but it came to fruition on Monday. Nottingham Forest getting their points deduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, obviously, they had to have it done, like, you know, soon. But it's like what me and Jesby were talking about on last night's show. Is happy in one way that it's been taken away from them now. So they literally know from now to the end of the season, they know what they're up against and obviously what they got to do. So, you know, obviously, it's just to play games, just to get as many points as they can from now to the end of the season. Hopefully, they can survive, you know, and stay up. You know, I don't mind Nottingham Forest. They play good. They play really good football. You know, when I've been watching them. So yeah, hopefully they'll stay up. And but yeah, it's better now than later on going, like, you know, roughly towards the end of the season sort of thing. And then, you know, that can be vital for them. So his best is done now. He's out the way.
Yeah, good. Good as he says here, be careful what you say. I know, guys, I know where you all live.
Oh, right. In that case, then, yeah, they're fucking shit. They need to go down. Yeah. The manager's absolute sack of cack. Yeah.
I mean, would you make all Jez? It comes to that stupidity again, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had this discussion with Yeti when we were doing our last watch along show. And I said, you know, at the end of the day, it's better to get it done now than leave it later at the end of the season. Because at least, as Anthony's just said, you know, exactly what we talked about is that at least now they know what they've got to face. And they've got to really kick in now and secure they stay in the Premier League. So in that way, it is a bonus. Yeah, okay. I think people have discussed this, that, oh, why didn't they get the same as Everton? Well, I think that it's because their transactions were higher than Everton, but from what I'm led to believe is they were very open and honest with the inquiry. They didn't try and hide anything. They just said, right, this is it. This is what we've done, and blah, blah, blah. And they got respect for doing that. And then, okay, all the Premier League teams have said that they want these things dealt with quickly by the Premier League. Premier League, in fairness, we're not going to. The Man City thing is totally different, but Everton, Forest, they got their deductions dealt with quickly, and they know where they are. And the only question I'll put out there, I think if you were to look at any Premier League club, especially maybe some of the bigger clubs, I mean, one of the reasons I'm led to believe that Arsenal couldn't buy anybody in January is because of this, you know, and they had to put players out on loan. They've had to let players go for nothing before they can actually get into the transfer market again. I don't know. I don't have any proof on that. It's just what I've been told. But the fact is, for Nottingham Forest now, at least they know what they've got to do and they can fight for their survival. And good luck to them. That's all I can say.
What about you, Faz? What did you make of it all?
Yeah, it's kind of it is what it is, really. You know, if you've broken the rules, broken the laws, you know, it is what it is. You get handed your punishment. Perspective to what kind of rules it is you've broken determines what level of punishment it is, and by which way they've received less points deduction than Everton would supposedly suggest that they've broken a less severe rule per se, or broken it in different ways, which has determined a different level of punishment. But I think it could be per se a blessing in disguise that they have it happen now. So it's like you're you're right on the tail of another team that you basically now got to scrap it out with, which is Luton. That points deduction puts you just below them by a point. The exit for from the relegation zone is right in front of you. That's after the punishment. So it's not a fight that you really want to be put into, but it's doable. So the damage has been done, but it's recoverable. I'd much rather be in that position and know that you can fight, survive, just about stay up, go into next season punishment free. You stay up in the Premier League, no problems at all. Just prep normally for the next season. You start on 0 points.
No,
so it is what it is. I know that there are a lot of people are just in absolute outrage saying, "Oh, but what about Man City? What about Chelsea?" In Man City's case, there's 115 charges. All of these other clubs are breaking single rules, just a rule here, a rule there. Usually you break one rule, it just takes one investigation to see what the severity or the extent of you breaking that rule is, and it usually concludes quite quickly. But if you've broken supposedly, allegedly 115 charges, you're doing that investigation 115 times and determining what punishment is justified for each of those individual infringements. So yeah, for me, I think as far as a time frame goes, I think it's understandable that Manchester City's case is a very, very long ongoing saga. And as for Chelsea, I know they're still sort of in the process of figuring out what all of these rule breaches are. So I don't think they've quite racked up the number of charges per se that they'll have plotted against them, if there are any. I mean, it could just come out at the end of the day. Oh no, it turns out they were legit. That could happen. It's not
true.
The utmost likeliest, but
let me come back to the Man City thing. I'm just going to bring in two people. One of them obviously is Budgie. Evening, Budgie.
Good evening.
And
get ready, Anthony, because you've said some comments about this club, and he's ready to kick ass and drag your heel, hung, drawn, quartered. Good evening, Yeti. How are we doing, mate?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. How are you? And leave Cooper alone, Anthony.
I didn't even know you were sacked. I'm sorry. But...
Well, I'll go into the chat shortly. The main thing for me, get some feedback here for some reason, is Man City's. Even that 115 charges, there's a possibility that some of them charges be dropped.
Apparently, the Man City charges is only 6 that actually really apply.
Let me go to headphones.
Okay, mate.
He's going deaf, isn't he?
It's happy. 6 charges after 115. Well, that just
that was something that was put out there. I'm not saying that's factual. I'm just saying that's what I saw. I've seen people talk about it on channels, and so if that's the case, then why is it taking so long? If 100 and odd can be dismissed right now, as we sit and chat here right now, right, and there's 6 that are really applicable, get on with it then. Get on. They did it with Everton. They've done it with Nottingham Forest. So get on with it.
Yeah.
Stop bullshitting around.
Well, I believe Forest you can appeal theirs as well. I believe that's the case.
Yeah, I think you can appeal it. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I mean, that ain't the reason Forest are going to go down. Forest are going to go down because they're playing an absolute bag of wank. That's pretty much the reason. I mean, we can't score. We can't defend. So, and to me, I mean, it's all right, all these players coming out and going, oh, yeah, it's devastating, all these points dropped. Well, if you'd have put performance in against Brighton and Luton, you'd have had 6 points and it wouldn't have made no difference. So,
Very true. I mean, this is the interesting one when you think about it. As Mama Flossie's saying, Leicester is going to mess it all up because when they come back up, I think they're going to be having the book thrown at them.
Yeah, they are, yeah. Yeah, they're going to get done for FFP. I think this is going back to when they were in the Premier League as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
you know,
what they've done then is that they've suspended any not investigation, but they suspended any punishments until they get back to the Premier League. Then that's what they've done.
It sounds like it.
technically, yeah.
Well, if the infringements were during their Premier League time, then it's kind of fitting that they get the Premier League punishments, as it were. I think that's fitting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to mess up things a bit, but it just means that, let's just say, for argument's sake, Nottingham Forest. Believe me, I don't wish this to happen, but if Nottingham Forest were to get done and they were to be relegated, would their points deduction be held until they get back to the Premier League?
No, it's been done, isn't it? It's already done.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I see. Yeah. True. But what if it's a team like, for example, Luton? Let's just say, for example, Luton were in hot water for this, and then they get relegated. The chances of them coming back to the Premier League again are quite slim.
Yeah.
Ever. You know, I don't wish to be rude about them, but once they go down to the Championship again, they're going to lose players like Barkley and
they will.
All these other really decent players they've got. They're going to go. You know, some of them are going to go to Arsenal or Chelsea or Tottenham or West Ham or wherever. Man United. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget you, Fuzz. You know, and you know, it's really unfair that points then, in that case, would be held until they come back to the Premier League, because the chances of them coming back to the Premier League are really slim.
Yeah.
You know, unless
Well, I bet Southgate will want the players.
Yeah, of course. You know. Yeah, of course he will. What, Man United, you mean?
Yeah, Man United. Yeah, when he finally signs that contract, you know. Plus, he's got the waistcoat ready.
I reckon there's going to be a fight on Man United's hands for him now. I think Arsenal are going to put in a bid and all.
Yeah, that's true. They're licking their lips at the prospect from one insufferable PR merchant to another.
Walker and Maguire withdrawn.
Yes, yeah, just been announced. It about 5 minutes ago. Come through that as.
Oh my days.
Good afternoon to Lawrence Watkins from Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Coming you irons. Hope you're keeping well, Lawrence. Good to have you on as well. Empty head is 1-7. As Happy Emirates says, the Premier is supposed to be the best league in the world. Give it a few years, it will be gone. Super League will take off, and Premier will be worth F all.
Fact.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like it's heading that way, doesn't it?
Well, I think this is the reason why they're bringing this independent regulator now, aren't they, for football? They're actually going to. Yep, the scale's coming in. So apparently, it's the power to settle ongoing rows over financial distributions to clubs.
Okay, and they're going to be independent, yeah. So where are they coming from?
Government. So we're in good hands. Because I mean, we know how good they can sort things out. So
that team will be changing every 3 to 4 years then.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah,
it's going to be very interesting. If you're going to have an independent board to keep an eye on the financial situation in the Premier League, it's got to consist of people that are going to stay the course. It can't be from government. Maybe they could have government representative. Yeah, definitely. But it has to be made up of, say, like, let's just say it's 7 people plus a government representative. Then that way, at least it's only one representative that's changing every few years. You know, when the government gets changed. So
the thing is who the question to be asked on that subject is, who's going to appoint this independent board.
Yeah, that's a very valid point, actually.
Mm.
Very valid. Yeah.
I think he's right what he's saying. It's just reading up in here, and it seems like the government have been pushing this for a while now. So it seems it's them that's going to get the Premier League and the EFL to actually get this board sorted, combined, so they can make sure of what's going on.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the government are getting involved because they can see a lot of dodgy things going on. I mean, and who knows better about dodgy things than the government?
Yeah.
So,
Good point.
No, it's true, isn't it? It's true. I mean, like as Henry says, which club is going to feel the pinch of the wallet? How many clubs have been breaking these rules and regulations? Well, I think you can say it's been going on for quite a few years. Just going to be found out after all this. Points deducted should only be given at the start of a season, in my opinion. At least we all know where we stand. Because as you said earlier on, 30 games in and now Forest are being done. Whereas if they waited till Everton got the season out of the way with, then they kind of deducted them the points.
Yeah, there's kind of mixed messages coming from all of this, isn't there? Really, to be fair,
But yeah, I mean, would you rather now, right? So let's say you stay up in the Premier League and you've not you've not had your 4 points deducted, right?
Yeah.
And you stay up, you struggle, and you get there and you think, whew, we're okay for next year. Would you rather have 4 points deducted at the start of next season?
It's 6, isn't it? But no, yeah. I mean, I said anyway. I was saying before that I'd rather get it done now and get it out of the way. I'm not worried about that. To be fair, like I say, I'm worried about the way we're playing because that's what bothers me more than point deduction. The way we're playing, we're not playing well enough to actually, get it back and Luton get another win. Although Luton's got some tough games coming up. Yeah. But then again, we can make a tough game out of Sheffield United. So, I mean, that don't really make that much difference, does it?
To be fair, though, Forest can make a tough game with anyone.
100%.
I mean, okay, yeah, so your results have been less than perfect, but, the actual team effort has never been anything less than 100%. So it's not like you're playing. You're just like going through the motions. You're actually trying to win games.
Yeah,
it's just your team do consist of less able players. Let's put it that way. And it's it is a shame because Forest have got a rich history in the British football, but the thing that troubles me the most though is that at this moment in time, if you didn't have a 6-point deduction, you're still fighting for survival in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course we are.
That 6-point deduction's hit you kind of resign yourself to the fact that you're going to go down because it's going to be so damn difficult without those 6 points. Those 6 points may just be your saving grace.
Yeah.
So, it would be better for you to have them deducted at the beginning of the next season because at least then, even though you're starting the season -6, you're going to be at the bottom of the league, but that's on day one. By day 21, you might have 3 points on the board. You just,
I get where you're coming from, Budgie, but I think there's a lot of things come from Everton as well. Like, why should we get done twice in the league and then they get to at the start of next season? So I think there's been a lot of things said like that because they're not very happy that it's only 6 points when they got deducted 10 and then it got taken down. So
exactly.
I
mean, if you look at this year, she's, Happy and Moretz says a good comment. Say Toffees get another point deduction and finish 18th. They appeal, and after season are finished, get some points back, meaning they're stayed up. Then what? This is the thing. I think this is the situation with Leicester, isn't it? Because
what do they do in that situation? Do they do the same as a deduction and hold them in lieu until they get back to the Premier League?
Well, the thing was, Budgie, I mean, when Everton got the points. 6 points. Well, this is the thing. I mean, when Everton were given the points in the first place, I think the 3 clubs that went down were looking to sue Everton because obviously of actually for going down. I think there was a combined of 350 million they was going to sue Everton for.
Wow.
But that I don't know what's going on with that. That seems to have gone quiet basically. But yeah, yeah, then what? As you said, it's
But also, I mean, another thing you got to take into account is, like Jez says, when we was found out to have the FFP, we helped them. You know, we just went, yeah, fair enough. You know, we've done it. That's it. You know, we've got to face the punishment. Whereas Everton tried to play a few hands there. You know, to try and get out of it and all that kind of stuff. So basically, should it be 6 points each or should it be less for us?
no, exactly.
Well, in a court of law, if you admit your
Big
guilt,
up, Dave.
then you get like concession on your sentence. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you're guilty of something that would carry 5 years. If you say, yeah, it was me, I did it, I put my hands up, blah, 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 they're going to give you a 3-year sentence. So, you know, for making their job easier, basically, and costing less money in investigations, etc., etc. So it should be the same, really, with this, because this is a legal requirement, isn't it? You know, this financial fair play is now a legal requirement within football. So, therefore, it must fall under the realms of the law, and therefore, admit your guilt, reduce your sentence.
Yeah.
Good.
See, I don't think we did ourselves any favours knowing this was over our heads and then just going out and signing loads of players in the window. Because it was like, you know, a massive FU. We're not bothered.
The only question I've got
It was enjoy the Premier League while you can.
is I just hope it's all been done on a level playing field. Because, you know, Everton move next season. I've got their new big stadium ready to go. Cost not much, how much money, right? I think they may survive in the Premier League. If Leicester come up, and it then starts with them, I don't know. Let's hypothetically, let's say it's -10, right? Yeah, makes a smash of the bloody season to start with. We've still got Man City's thing going on. We've still got Chelsea's thing going on, and let's not forget Chelsea. Not that many years ago, got done. They couldn't do any transfers for 2 seasons.
That's right. Yeah.
So, how many misdemeanors have they made in recent 10 years?
Yeah.
But the fact remains to me, if this is a totally open and honest situation, right, then it should be all clubs investigated. I will put money out there. Arsenal have broken rules.
I was about to ask you, actually, Jess, do you think that Arsenal would be found to be squeaky clean?
No, no way.
I mean, you know, like, I mean, the thing is, if that is the case, they did no favours for themselves by paying one club over 100 million for one player who really shouldn't have been valued at that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have valued him higher personally because I knew what he was capable of, etc. But general public would have seen him as an 80 million pound player. You know, some would say pay 25 million over and above what it would have been expected for him.
Yep.
I think.
Would you agree with that, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think 85 million would have probably been a fair price.
Pay 105 for him, and there was no, you know, back and forth like, no, we want 120 or blah. But it was just like, right, how much do you want for him? 105. Right, there it is. Take the money, give me the player. That was more or less how it went. It took a bloody long time to come to that, but it did come to that. And it, like I said, there was very little negotiation. We basically set a price, and in fact, I think actually Arsenal came in slightly higher than our price, because I think we priced him at 95, didn't we?
We did, and also it's only because Man City wanted to have a go, and then once they said it was going to be over that fee, that's when Arsenal came in and paid the 105, and it was then done and dusted.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about dodgy dealings, right? One case in point: Arsenal could have got a Brazilian Marquinhos, right, for free. For free.
Mm.
Oh no, they will give that club 3 million to keep good relations. Does that not smell?
Yeah.
You and your good relations.
A certain excellent, awesome, probably one of the best managers I think in my time at Arsenal, George Graham. He got done by the FA for taking bungs.
Mm.
Right? You telling me that Arsene Wenger didn't either?
Mm.
Exactly. There was a North London manager, the other side of North London did exactly the same as well, Jess.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually think that Arsenal should get a points deduction for keep playing Nketiah, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I like to say,
Exactly.
I had to wait for the last bit.
I mean, Jez, do you think this is a fair comment by the table team? Is it Man City? Have they been laundering money from dummy accounts?
Apparently, that's one of the main charges.
Wow.
Apparently, that's one of the biggest charges they're up against.
Yeah.
Their Saudi Arabian owners have been, and let's be right, we know how dodgy the deals go over there. Yeah. And apparently, that's one of them, is that they were doing stuff behind the scenes.
But oil is a license to print money. So why would they need to launder money?
You got to think, Budgie, what it is. It's like, look at Abramovich. Chelsea was basically his tax haven, basically.
Yeah,
that's his way of kind of lighting the money up a little bit. It was done through that. I mean, so City will get one investigation points deduction at a time. So 6 points a season for the next 10 years plus years. So bullshit. As I said, 2030 could be resolved with Man City. 2030.
Yeah.
No, he's a piss take. He's absolutely piss take. If there's 115 charges, they got to be charged. It's like what Jess said. 6 of them are like, it looks pretty much regular. So get them on those 6 first. I mean, if anything, they should be banned for signing players for the next 2 seasons. Let's bring the old-fashioned rule back in, and then let's start Man City off with a minus point deduction. Even if it's minus bloody 20.
It's never going to happen, Anthony. It's never going to happen.
You got to think them days, because like here, look at that. City should be booted to the Conference League, Mum Flossie's saying, and you got to think that's what happened to Luton. But as Budgie alluded to, this the time of the year you won't see it happening to someone like City or any club.
No, you won't.
It won't happen.
And I mean, all right, okay, it happened in Scotland to Rangers.
Yeah.
But and really and truly, that was that should have opened up a lot of teams' eyes, a lot of clubs' eyes when that happened to Rangers, because other than Celtic, they're the most successful Scottish team ever known.
Yeah.
So, like, really and truly, it shows that there's double standards either side of the border as well. In Scotland, they're quite ruthless, as we know, with things like that and the law and stuff. They're quite ruthless. But down here, there seems to be favouritism, this, that, and the other. I mean, like, the government won't get involved with the Man City thing because they wouldn't want to upset the Saudi government, etc., etc. So, lawyers will help them, like Happy put down, 10 years worth of point deductions or whatever it is, a point a year.
Yeah. Just get the best lawyers in, Budgie. They got
exactly.
Lawyers.
Yeah. I think actually what will happen is by the time they actually get this sorted, the whole FFP thing will be changed anyway, so most of them will be dropped based on that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I say they're looking to change this UEFA style things. That'd be interesting in itself. Just want to shout that one. Liverpool legends 1-4-2. Shout out to Liverpool as well for obviously letting Sven-Göran Eriksson managing that game. So there's a fitting tribute in that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, this FFP thing and that. I mean, it's not going away, is it? That's for sure.
No. It'll just get worse. I everybody in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, big up chat.
It's going to get worse, guys. You know, I mean, the thing is, it's already complicated, and now they're going to add more rules to complicate it even more. And people like Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, you know, what we call the greedy six, they're going to get away with murder. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, you know, I think it's, you know, quite obvious
There,
to,
James.
and you know, I mean, this isn't just a disgruntled West Ham fan saying that. I mean, we haven't heard a lot from you, Fuzzy. So, what do you think of this situation?
Well, I mean, with the whole FFP thing, it does feel like with this FFP changing the rules and things like that, it does stink of the lawmakers thinking, oh, you know what? Actually, they've got a point. These are a little bit outdated. These aren't like working the way that it should do. It's either that or there's something a lot more sinister underneath this, where it's actually Man City have blasted back at them with their own accusations per se, because you know it's a country versus a football league and football league government. So they're probably thinking, well, okay, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll lessen the blow on you by changing some of these rules so it doesn't apply to you any longer. So we'll catch people out here and there in the now for their one-off charges. So it makes it look like we're awake and we're actively, you know, sourcing out football, when in actuality we're probably brushing as much of it under the carpet as possible so that we can keep the peace here and keep you around the big picture. Because it would, I mean, Manchester City, essentially for the Premier League, is a big money draw. It's a big money draw. And I mean, talk about their finances and where they get theirs from. I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, Postman Pat might as well be a sponsor for them. He could probably muster up about £500 million just on his lonesome every single year. There's some dodgy stuff going on there, but considering that it's tied into politics, like government level politics, there are a lot of spineless people that like run things towards the top end of this country. So if there's a little bit of hot water, they're going to bend backwards to try and appease people. Like, oh, simmer down, calm down. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you a little bit angry. I'll just calm things down a little bit. So I don't know for certain what the outright truth is, but I can't put it beyond complete doubt that there's something a lot more like shit smelling if you that's off there in the sides. Like you can smell it, but you can't see it. But the person who's nose blind to it saying you, don't worry, it's just your imagination. You're just smelling something. You can't see it. It's not real.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as Hammy Hammer says, you know, what the hell are they doing? A club's supposed to know, and it must be the same people doing the VAR the job worse. Because it's literally that, isn't it? Because it's a complete, absolute dire mess.
Yeah. Mate, listen, if anybody in VAR or this FFP board or anything to do with the government, this country's fucking doomed.
100%. 100%.
100%, Budgie, that's for sure. Yeah. Must be the same people that used to run British Rail, I think. Fuck me, the way they used to operate.
We're getting there.
Jesus. Big up to Bargav as well. Yeah, is the Forest one still under appeal? Yes, it is, mate. I mean, you know, you can't expect the club not to appeal something like that. And big up to Jess with JSY Talks Football. Big up, boys. Smash the likes. Thank you very much, Jess. And obviously, don't forget to all the people in the panel as well. Go to their respective channels, which will be put in the description at the end of this stream. I mean, actually saying hello to everyone. I have to go over it. It was brought up again. Apparently, the Premier League on Wednesday on Tuesday was from the PGMO. Why did it take 5 minutes and 37 seconds to decide if West Ham's goal stood or not? Because what they're worried about is that VAR, as always, as we've just alluded to, are completely mucking things up. and it's going to damage their reputation as the Premier League. I'll start with you, Budgie. What do you think of that one?
Listen, nothing's going to change the result of the day, but something can be done to prevent that from happening again. And something has to be done to make sure that the decisions that are made are the right ones. Because clearly on some occasions, not necessarily on that 5-minute job, or 5.5-minute job, but on some occasions, that they're giving, they're giving away stuff that we're not seeing. Even if we do get to see the VAR, replays, which we don't, I think that, there's a lot of decisions being made that are incorrect. And I think, the Premier League rightfully have a right to worry about that and to investigate it. If it is good, because let's be honest, right? Every single one of us sitting here does not want to sit around for 3 or 4 minutes to decide whether we can celebrate or not.
100%.
None of us want that. And like in the World Cup, it was almost instantaneous. Semi-automated, I believe it was. So why can't we implement that and trial that? Because clearly the one we've got is causing too much strife in the stands, in the punditry room, everywhere. It's causing chaos at the moment. We didn't have that chaos in the World Cup.
No,
we just didn't have it.
Well, it's us though, isn't it? It's the FA. We do that. We muck things up. We don't get things right. Any other sport that uses it gets it spot on. But
So the
get
FA actually stands for fucking amateurs then.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, Jez, what do you make of this situation? I mean, it's cost your team games and points, and it's not going to go away, is it? At the end of the day,
it's not, and it's just it's just an absolute shit show, man. I was watching that game with Anthony yesterday, and I'm sorry I have to say this: that goal for Brazil, the guy received that ball was clearly offside.
yes.
Yeah.
I said to Anthony straight live, he's offside. But it was given. I mean, if I'm watching it on TV and I can see it, why can't they see it? But there you go. To take 5 minutes to make a decision is appalling. As you quite rightly say, and Budgie said, it kills the atmosphere in the ground, because a goal is scored by your team. So immediately everybody celebrates, yeah? You then see the referee has got his hand on his ear, listening to VAR, makes no decision. The players are all around him, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the crowd now goes quiet because they don't know what's happening. We don't know, we've not seen it on the big screens or anything like that. And then why is it? Why is it they have these weird angles?
Yeah.
Why can't they draw a straight line?
Yeah. Straight away.
It's quite easy, right? If you want, they sorted out goal line technology. It took them 2 years, but they did sort it out, right? If they want to do that in the last phase of play, right? Have proper cameras, right, on the side of the pitch, where they can actually, like, every 5 yards, pop the lines in.
No, exactly.
Not
Exactly
hard.
that. No.
It's not bloody hard, right? And they can do it both ends of the field, opposite side to where the linesmen are. Yeah. I mean, what is the point of a linesman now?
Yeah.
What do they do in a game?
Waste of time. Well, it's like the fourth official.
That comment there is absolutely bang on.
It is spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Deduct any Arsenal fan that sings that shit show 100 points.
They should be dropped down to the Conference League for that song. To be fair,
I think beyond the conference, yeah, you're being too kind.
Even about,
Into expulsion.
pub team.
Arsenal. It's not even about bloody Arsenal, man.
But,
Right? That's all about drugs and bloody prostitutes.
North London forever, when the club didn't even start in North London either.
Shocking, man.
And that's the truth, isn't it, Fuzzy? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, North London forever. They didn't even come from there.
I can't really comment on that being about drugs and sex and all that lot because our main song is pretty much that as well. So no, it's full of tits, Fanny and Forest.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, that's an interesting one there. Mum Flossy saying City have a sponsor, a Sri Lankan taxi firm, and give them £3 million a year, apparently.
This is where you find out the taxi's fleet contains 3 taxis.
Yeah, you know.
Good evening, Drew.
And they're all those little three-wheeler things that you get.
Little tuk-tuks.
Yeah, that's it. Tuk-tuk. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome car.
I saw a funny thing. It was, I think it was a picture of somebody had gone to Bangkok and they come out of the airport and there's a little row of them tuk-tuks. And on one of them, there's a little sign that says, "Driver speaks English." And he's put a comment under it. He said, "I wish they did that over here." Oh, mate. Made me chuckle.
I mean, this is an
I
interesting
couldn't
one.
get a cab.
You couldn't get
You
a
know
cab
what?
because you speak English.
I couldn't get a cab on Friday, lunchtime, because 3 cab companies that I use in this town, and there's about 5 of them, I suppose 5 or 6, but there's 3 of them that I use, and I phoned all 3 of them to get a cab at lunchtime on Friday, and they all said, "I'm sorry, we haven't got any cars available at the moment. All our drivers are at prayer."
No.
3 taxi companies. I was so disappointed I had to get a bus. And do you know what? The bus driver was an Asian Muslim.
Mm.
He weren't at prayer. He was driving his bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
I can remember when my mate was going into
sorry, I went on
work.
a rant then. Why did
And-
I do that?
He walks into the canteen, and the canteen were full of like Asian guys who were working there. So he just walks in and goes, "No wonder I can't get a taxi."
No. Rice worth every penny when you look at Man United business over the last few years. Maguire, Pogba, Anthony, Shanko, etc., etc. This is true, but did you know, Jez and Anthony, apparently during the week, Declan Rice met up with West Ham's co-owner, Albert Tripp Smith, at a swanky luxury London club, Oswald's in Mayfair.
Yes, I heard about that.
When you see the photos in there, Declan's face is a picture because it's like, shit, I've been caught.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he was just selling the shares that he had been given for being the captain back to him. That's what I reckon he was doing. I don't think there was any way that he's looking at.
I put that on an Arsenal stream, and they all look worried. Like he says, "All right, there's nothing to worry about, lads. Carry on with the show." Seriously, their faces literally drop. They're like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, the one thing that I like to sort of remind the local lads, you know, that follow Arsenal is that, you know, they all say to me, "Oh yeah, Declan Rice, brilliant player, blah 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 blah." I always say to them that, you know, 4 years ago, you know, I knew 4 years ago that he was going to be tipped to become England's next captain.
Yeah.
I knew that he was going to be tipped to be, you know, starting in the England midfield. I mean, he was going to be the man to build the midfield around. I knew that 4 years ago, and they all like, "Nah, yeah, but you know, since he came to Arsenal," I was like, "Yeah, since he came to Arsenal, he's been allowed to express himself just a tad more, just a tad more."
Yeah.
And because he's done that, he's played some exceptionally good games. He's had some goals. he's done really, really, really well. But it's nothing that he didn't do at West Ham. He just didn't do it all in such a short space of time.
He was only good Arsenal midfielder as well.
Well, you know, I mean, to be fair, I like Odegaard, and I think he's a quality player. I really do. And Odegaard and Rice together would be just a dream midfield for me, I think. He's better than Thomas Souček, that's for sure.
Evening field.
Don't get me wrong, I love Thomas Souček. I think he's great.
He's good,
but he's not a player. He's not a baller, what I would call a proper baller. Odegaard's a baller.
Phil Mitchell saying Babe Station's gone downhill. I don't know, Phil. If you look over to to my side here, Anthony in there,
No. Is this guy? Hang on, let me get this guy down here in the bottom, not budgie, in the bottom corner. Has it gone downhill yet? Babe Station.
How can he?
I don't know. I don't know, mate. Because I'm sponsored by Pornhub, so I can't talk about Babe Station.
Oh no, that's.
How can he say that? I mean, where else do you get 6 tits on the screen?
Well, if that's the case, then Budgie, you might as well say if you remember Total Recall, the woman with the three, the 3 tits, me, you, and Jez with the nipples. There you go. Man City with dodgy money laundering. Yes, Pep even took an Argos card. What else is down there?
10-point deduction for a leaky roof like that. Yeah. Oh, mate.
10-point deduction.
We'd be in real trouble then because you have to wear Wellingtons just to go to the toilets in the London Stadium.
I'd accept this punishment. 100-point deduction for hiring Gareth Southgate.
I reckon it'd be good for you, Fuzz.
Yeah, well, as Arsenal Manic says, please touch on how Southgate is wasting this generation of talent and has made international football dull. Man United, please sign him up.
Yes. Definitely.
There's no two ways about
it. I mean, look, I was saying this on Wolfie's stream earlier. I wasn't on the screen, I was in the chat, and they were talking about who they would start for England, and they were adamant that they would start Saka, and I made a comment and I said that, well, Jared Bowen has created more goals and scored more goals than Saka has this season. Why is he not being considered? That was my question. And
Evening, Arcane.
It was just a case of when Saka turns up for England, he plays brilliantly. And that was the justification.
You wanted to play Bellingham behind Kane.
Yeah.
Somebody said play Bellingham behind Kane. I said, well, no, I played Bellingham alongside Declan Rice. Actually, I'll tell you who that was. That was, what's his name? Is it Stepsy?
Stepsy.
Yeah.
He was getting really pissed off, wasn't he?
He was, Stepsy. Yeah, he wasn't having any of it.
No, he weren't. He weren't very happy at all.
Yeah. Luton fan, isn't he? Luton guy?
Yeah.
He wasn't very happy today, bless him.
Yeah, I think
first time I'd seen him, to be fair, but he wasn't happy.
Well, you're quite surprised because he was on a show yesterday in that, by all accounts, and that he used the vape so much in that you couldn't even see him.
Put that in the chat.
I'll tell you what, though, Fuzz, I owe you an apology because I said I don't think it can get any worse at Man United.
I always believed it could. I was told, come on, man.
Big up, Steph.
Be a half glass full of chocolate milk. Think positively, but no. Gareth Southgate's the kind of guy that cuts off the bottom so that when you lift the glass up, the base stays on the ground. It all just comes out the bottom.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, West Ham should get a points deduction for their fans leaving at half time. Yeah, it wasn't good. Was it?
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't good.
Mate, what is he talking about at the Arsenal game?
Yeah.
Mate, we weren't getting any points for that anyway, so why not? Might as well have another 3 off this bucket.
That's
We
very
always, we always hear it. We always hear it, even on streams, yeah, even on Jez's show as well. It don't matter how your team plays and how your team performs. You always stay till the end.
Mm.
I do get that, and you know something, I don't go to football often enough, and I can't afford to leave at half time when I'm paying for a full game. You know, it's not like I've got bundles of money behind me, because I ain't.
Yeah.
You know, I struggle to get to games, and I get there out of the kindness of other people's generosity. Not that they pay for me, but you know, other people get me tickets at, you know,
Yeah.
at cost price, etc.
I'll have to
Yeah.
ask you, Budgie. Budgie, you'll have to ask you one
Yeah.
to
Ticket
interrupt you
touts.
there. If you look at fuzzy
Okay.
screen there, which one are you walking that bridge?
Yeah. Which one? Keep yourself out. It's all over there. All those
Yeah,
guys out there.
that's me with the West Ham shirt on. Look. But you know, I mean, like when I went to the Arsenal game, and you know, it was, what was it, 3-0 before half time, 4-0 before half time.
4-0.
Yeah, 4-0 there.
Mate, I'd seen enough. You know, I had seen enough, and I weren't feeling great anyway. You know what I mean? I got some health issues and stuff, and I weren't feeling great.
Yeah.
And it would have been easier to take the health issues having seen a game of football instead of a group of 11 men getting arse raped by another group of 11 men. You know, it just didn't make sense for me to stay.
Couldn't have said
And I
it better
thought I
myself.
would be one of very few that left. And I had to fight to get out the bloody doors because there were so many of them. Fucking
All
ridiculous.
fighting each other at the exit. I'm going, let me get out. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not standing there to watch that shit.
One fella said to me, "Can't budge, I'm walking the same way as you are." And I went, "Oh, right, okay, mate." One of the fellas from the pub. So yeah, I walked back to the pub with him. Yeah, it was crazy.
The thing is, though, is it as bad as Arsenal fans walking out when they're actually winning?
No,
Yeah, it's true.
I just don't understand that. I mean,
No.
that one game, it was a midday kickoff. I forget who we were playing now. Right, we're winning the game, right, and it's midday, right, and we've got fans walking out 10 minutes before the end. There's no pressure. There's no pressure to get a train. There's no pressure because of rail strikes, tube strikes, whatever. And they're walking out like we're 3-0 up. Yeah. And they're walking out and they missed 2 more goals. Like, what are you doing, man? The tickets cost an absolute arm and a bloody leg nowadays. You've paid,
Entitled fan base.
well, you've paid your train fare. You've paid your food, you've paid for exorbitant costs of food and drink, right, on the concourse, and you're 3-0 up. Some of these fans maybe have never been to the Emirates before in their lives. It's a day out, yeah, and they've paid a lot of money to get there, a lot of money to travel there. May have come from abroad, yeah, and they're walking out 10 minutes before the end. Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Not when you're winning.
I only left the game early once, and that was at Wolves, so I got thrown out.
Why don't that surprise me?
No fault of mine, right? I was there, and it was back in the troubled days in the 80s, and then the Wolves.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to get comfortable.
They were throwing darts, right?
Oh.
One landed in my jeans, right? This is fact. This is God's honest truth. This is. And we were actually trying to get away where, you know, I used to just have the segregation passage, yeah? Right? And they're throwing those, you know, remember those really cheap brass with plastic dart things?
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
They used to throw them, and they were throwing them. One's landed in the back of my jeans. It didn't hurt me, just landed there. I've picked it out, and 2 stewards have come over and said, out, come on, out. I said, what? I haven't done nothing. Yeah, you're going to throw that dart. I said, no, it's thrown at me. And they chucked me out the ground at Molineux, right? And there's all these coppers out there, and they're like, go on, get out, go away. And I said, look, mate, look, boys, look over there. There's a whole load of Wolverhampton fans, right? They hadn't got in the ground. I said, I'm going over there, mate. It's going to be murder. And this one police inspector said, right, fair enough, go and stand over there. And at half time, the guys I was with, the other 11 guys I used to go every game with, they came out. They said, come on, let's get out of here. And we managed to get out of there without too much grief. And I didn't know where we'd even parked our van. We used to have a little minibus thing. I didn't even know where we parked it. Right? So I'm thinking, you know, if I walk out of here on my own, I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. And I was like, luckily, there was a sensible policeman there who said, but I didn't do anything. And I was the one who got kicked out.
Yeah.
I'd have kicked you out, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't recognise the van, Jez. It wasn't that the van that the door was stuck on with duct tape.
Yeah. No, that was at Blue Ball Services. When I opened the passion side door, the door fell off. And we had to go kind of bungee straps from the services garage and bloody bungee strap it all up. And that was that one.
Wow.
Until we got over by Port Vale, 3 months later, they were going to play Orient. We're at Blue Ball Services. They've come across the footbridge and kicked the shit out of our van, and that was fun. I can tell you.
Yeah. You know what? We ought to change this stream to story time with Jez Collins. I love Jez's stories. I really do.
I've done all that. I've done it all, mate. I've done all them shows on my channel. And all that.
Well, here's a story about Just Say No. I went out on Friday night knowing that I was going to Southampton, West Ham the next day. Note the way I said it, Southampton, West Ham. So I went out. One of my mates slipped a Mickey in my drink. I was off my face. I didn't know where I was, what I was doing. Woke up the next morning, got on the train, went all the way down to the Dell, walked up to the stadium, and it was fucking empty. We were playing them at home, not away. So I spent, I don't know, the best part of my week's wages getting down there, etc., and couldn't use my ticket. Didn't even look at the ticket to see that it was a home game.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Who was the assistant manager of Harry Redknapp when he was Portsmouth and he went to Southampton? Oh, what was his name?
I know with Tottenham. Would it have been Joe Jordan?
No, it was Joe Jordan.
It was
Short, stumpy fella, bald head.
Yeah.
Weren't you, were it?
It was me.
Was it wasn't Steve Clark, was it?
It was Jez.
Jim Smith.
Jim Smith. That's what it was. It was Jim Smith.
Smith.
So of course,
Right.
yeah, because he was with him, wasn't he, from Portsmouth, and they went to Southampton. Poor old Jim drove all the way to Portsmouth's training ground and then pulled up in the car parks, and the lads are looking at him and think, "What are you doing here, Jim?" "I'm here for training." "No, mate, you don't work here anymore. You work at Southampton." "Oh, fucking hell."
Oh, them two love each other, don't they? Southampton and Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
It's like when Ron Atkinson sat in the Arsenal dugout.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you a story about that, Budgie. I remember when I used to be in the upholstery game, I used to call on a customer, and his daughter, she was going to have a Pompey fan, and he was Southampton, so he was absolutely seething every time the bloke walked through the door. But their mate, who was a Sunderland fan, come down to see them in the summertime. So he's driving through Fratton Park, through Fratton in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
He pulled up at the traffic lights. He had both his windows down in his car, and he said these two brick shit houses, either side of the vehicle, leant in, looked for the window, looked at his shirt, recognised it was a Sunderland badge, and went, "Sorry, mate, thought you were someone else." He said, he absolutely shat himself. He never went there again. Too worried about beating the shit out of there and then live on the street.
Fuck yeah, brilliant.
Just want to come to this comment here from Arsenal man. Rice needs backup and competition. He's going to get burnt out. Seems to be the Arteta way. The drop of an event of an injury will be huge. You're looking at only any Vieira and Partey is barely available.
Mm, mm.
And I think this is like you carried on with Anthony with Gabriel's now injured as well, isn't he, for you guys?
Well, apparently, yeah, apparently so. I've read it. He's injured, but listen, if obviously I don't know how bad the injury is, but obviously if he's not back at Man City, it's like what I said, his repeat performance of last season when we lost Saliba. But I mean, I think we played Man City and we still beat them. So that was what I was saying earlier. I'm still confident that we can beat Man City. I mean, we can scrape it through. I thought a 2-1 win. But you look at it, Haaland hasn't been that great since he came back. I mean, obviously he scored those goals against Luton in the FA Cup. Kevin De Bruyne, he hasn't been getting things right, has he? Since he came back. So, it's I think it might be a win-win situation towards Arsenal.
Be interesting.
Yeah, but every game has to be taken at face value, don't it? I mean, if they hadn't done it before, it don't mean they're not going to sort of click together against you guys. I think there is like needle with you guys as well, with like what happened last season.
Yeah.
So you've got to take that into account as well. And you beat them. You beat them this season as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they're going to want that back.
It's going to be an interesting game. Will be an interesting game. Look at last night's game because obviously you two watched it, and I heard you. I think I just came into your chat when you made a comment about this man.
Acquieta.
Oh, mate. He was the best player on the pitch last night.
Yeah.
By far. Nobody was close to him,
no.
In my opinion. I think Rice was the best player in white. And, Paqueta hit the post.
Yeah.
He did one of his usuals, though, Tony. He did slice the ball.
Yeah, I see that one.
And it went... but it almost, created a goal. It's still... But,
yeah, well, I saw that one where you kind of received the ball on the turn and then knocked it over the back, and then Vinicius just couldn't put it away. You counter beat the keeper, but
what he does for us week in, week out.
So it's good to see him doing that. I mean, I don't know if you saw it as well, Budgie. Apparently, he's quite humbled about the West Ham way and how we're looking after him. So maybe the Man City thing is hopefully not going to happen.
If he kisses the badge, he's gone.
It's just flattery.
It's true.
He's been kissing the badge from the moment he wore it. But seriously. I mean, I did. I saw that, and I watched Gonzo's summary of it.
Take care.
And good night, Henry. I watched Gonzo's summary of it, and to be fair, I thought there were a lot of valid points there, and Paqueta is happy to be playing the style of football that we're playing right now, apparently, which is more than most fans are. But I think he likes the fact that it gives him the ability to be creative, because that's what we rely on him for, his creativity.
Yeah, we have missed it, haven't we?
We have. And to be fair, when him and Emerson are on the pitch together, good things are going to happen. Regardless of who else he's playing, if them two are together on the pitch, that there's going to be a link up. And good things will happen. The ball will be carried forward, which is nice to know.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, he does work pretty well with Bowen as well. So he's kind of got like a diagonal line that he plays well with.
Well, Sharky says here, Bowen looked decent when he came in last night, which he did. He did look good.
Yeah. And that game last night, it was like what I call, how we used to know it. It was like the difference between when he played for West Ham than what he played last night with Brazil. It was like he had that sort of free roll. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It was constant, yeah. And I tell you what, it's like what Budgie said. He was the best player on the pitch by far last
He's a
night.
quality player.
Yeah,
I mean, it just goes to show you, though, when he plays for West Ham, he wears the 10 shirt and he generally would play the 10 role. When he plays for Brazil, he wears the 8 shirt and he plays the 8 role. And I think the 8 role suits him much better than the 10 role. But he, like most other Brazilian creative players, they cherish and covet the 10 shirt, don't they?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the Maradona, it's the Pele, it's, you know, it's all of these great names have all worn the 10 shirt, all of these South American players. And to be fair, you know, I think he suits the 8 role much better than he does the 10. And we played him in the 8 role a few times, you know, and he's been brilliant. He was playing the 8 role the night of the Fiorentina final.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
You know,
Interesting question there for Jez and Anthony. Will Arsenal buy a centre forward in the summer?
well, I hope so. You know, I could speak on the average. We need a 20-goal striker a season plus. That's what we need at Arsenal.
you're not getting
there
him.
is-
That's been the question for the last 4 years, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's been a question for the last 4 years. So, but yeah, well, hopefully, you can most probably see what us fans see now, and most probably going for a 20-goal striker. There is report. I can't remember what it was. There's reports of him going into a striker. I think he scored about. I think so far this season, I think he scored about 20 goals in the league so far.
Harry
but,
Kane.
you know, no, it's not Harry
It's
Kane.
not Gyökeres, is it?
It could be. Is that one? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, is him.
He
So-
was, yeah, but the thing is with him is he was championship last season. Is that good enough for Arsenal? Because I would have thought James Toney, that's the bloody boxer. Ivan Toney would have been a better option.
I think,
Yeah,
I
but
think
he's
he was
not a
right in the
20
first place. Yeah.
He is,
goal striker.
I don't think Ivan
He could
Toney's been
be,
all
but
that
he's not
since
at
he's
the
come
moment.
back from the ban. I don't think Ivan Toney's been that great.
Don't think his head's there, mate. To be honest,
No.
from what apart from when he did a free kick against us, and then he moves the ball, and then we're going, oh well, it weren't fair. He moved the ball, but what about the wall moving with it? You know,
Yeah.
Don't need a striker because
No,
I was told that strikers don't score goals anymore.
that's correct.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
That.
Yes, yeah, pure fact.
Hey.
Yeah.
Time
Where'd
to
you
get
get
with
that
the
from,
times,
yeah?
people.
Where'd you hear that
Strikers here to clean boots.
from? Yeah, where'd you hear that
Yeah.
from?
Billy knows bollocks.
Billy knows part. Yeah, I think
Realistically
that's it.
speaking, though,
Yeah,
realistically speaking, this season, how many Premiership strikers do you reckon will reach 20 goals?
not many.
No.
I can only name 3,
Haaland,
Alan,
Yeah.
Ollie
Mm.
Watkins.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
you got-
Darwin Núñez if he has a mad goal scoring patch.
Maybe.
Because he's,
nah.
'cause he's pretty
Maybe.
much in the double figures at the moment.
I do like Nunes, I must admit.
Gareth Owen's on 14 or
Mm. Mm.
you
There
know.
you go.
If he stays fit, maybe Alexander Isak.
Mm.
Yes, that's,
He's quality actually.
He's
Yeah.
about
Mm.
something about 11, 12 goals in the league now.
If you
coming
can,
Yeah.
live, apparently, Isaac.
His car was spotted around the corner from the Emirates.
Ivan Drago. Ivan Drago. That's Rocky 4, isn't it? Yeah, love it.
Yeah, there's obviously going about the James Toney in defence for Arsenal, and also the
Yeah,
adding
of
on there
course, yeah.
Mike Tynes and Hollywood form, and that's our back four sorted. And he forgot about the legend Ali as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know his grandson's boxing now?
Oh, is he?
Muhammad Ali's grandson, yeah.
Mm.
Can't remember his actual name, but it's got Ali in the middle, so it's like, just say for argument's sake, it's Peter Ali Foreman or whatever it is. I don't know. But it's sort of, you know, he's got his he's actually a really good boxer. he's only had about 3 or 4 professional fights at the moment, but in his amateur, he was quite concussive with his punch.
Yeah.
Got a lot to live up to.
Yeah,
right,
he has, and he does the shuffle, the Ali shuffle as well.
Mm.
That's it.
He does it naturally. It's natural to him. He's like,
But, yeah.
he's really good at it as well. It's
Must be
brilliant.
hereditary.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think you know. I mean, like, he's under a really good trainer as well. You know, a really highly respected trainer.
Mm.
But you know, obviously he's watched videos of Ali fighting and stuff, and you know, because you know, he said, you know, although his name, he's got a lot to live up to with his name and stuff, and who his grandfather is. He said, but you know, I'm not the same boxer. I don't fight in the same style. You know, but to see him do the shuffle while he's fighting like Lennox Lewis, because that's kind of the style that he fights in.
Yeah, because
To
he's
see
always
the Ali
well,
shuffle coming in and being so nice and neat, it's really quite something to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, the daughter was a boxer as well, and Stephen
right,
said, anyone remember the Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler fights? Oh, yeah, there was some.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
We had some
In
good
fact,
fights.
I remember the Marvin Hagler and Alan Minter fight as well. Do you remember that?
Alan Minter, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody, I remember him.
I remember him. Yeah.
I've been working with his nephew actually this week.
Mm.
Oh, have you?
Alan Minter's from Crawley. Yeah, he's born and raised in Crawley. Went to school with my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat Hagler, didn't he? And good old scrap. Well, he beat him in one fight, I think.
When boxing was good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, when it was good.
Well, the
Yeah,
worst
but
fight the worst fight I seen, if I can actually say, like, if I did see it, do you remember that time when Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno?
Yeah.
And it was over in 33 seconds. You know what? We was in the pub. We stayed in the pub. All right. The guy had a bit of a lock-in. It was on late. I think it was on about 11:30 the fight, about midnight or something. The fight. I remember it being late and it was a lock-in. Anyway, the fight started. After a lot of alcohol, I thought, fucking on, you're pissed. Goes to the toilet, has a piss, comes back, he's fucking finished. I went, seriously, it was 33 seconds.
If Bruno had a killer instinct like Tyson, he could have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'll still say to this day,
Even if
you know,
he
he
had
was
that
the
same-
only one that actually managed to rock the Mike Tyson when he was on form.
Yeah,
only
he did,
one.
yeah. But then, you know, not long after, he went in the ring against Lennox Lewis and looked scared.
Yeah,
He
did.
looked scared when Lennox Lewis hit him. Pound for pound, I think Lennox Lewis is probably one of the best heavyweight punchers of the modern era. You know, I mean, there have been some fantastic punchers, but and Mike Tyson, you know, being up there, right up there.
Yeah.
I think
he will never fight
Lennox
now.
Lewis,
Apparently, he's fighting. What's his name? What's that bloke's name?
No, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
I'd love to see him knock his head clean off, to be honest with you, but he won't.
Yeah, Bruno Wembley 95 title win. Remember that? Yeah,
remember
Bruno,
that.
bless him, chin of glass.
Yeah.
I always liked the Eubank Nigel Benn fight. So
Cool, there were some.
they were quality. They was.
Yeah.
And
Roberto Duran and Marvin Hagler, wasn't it? They had a couple of matches. But were brutal, them boys. Whoa.
You're going on about the Chris Eubank fight. I mean, the one where I think he got robbed was Mark Watson.
Oh yeah,
gifted boxer he was, and
Michael Watson.
Michael
Watson. Yeah, he was very gifted, and of course the second one we know actually what happened, and what a shame.
Yeah, it was.
Actually, do you know that Chris Eubank visits Michael Watson regularly? Regularly.
Yes. I can imagine that. Yeah.
I mean, there are times when it's on a daily basis, but usually, there's a bit of time. But he visits him regularly. He takes him out. They go out together. You know what I mean? He really looks after him when he can. Obviously, Must have really destroyed Eubank. Must have done.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Jez? Sorry.
Yeah, back when I live up in Islington, we used to like go down the Old Kent Road looking for a bit of fun, and we used to drink in the pub where Henry Cooper had his boxing thing, the Green Man.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
And that was always a fun night out because we used to go down there, the Kentish Drovers, and of course you're in Peckham Bermondsey land, and of course what was hanging around there, all them lot, and so that was always a fun night out. But that was a great pub actually there, and you used to go. It's a massive pub, and the boxing school, whatever you want to call it, is upstairs. And a couple of times I saw Henry Cooper in there actually.
Cool.
Sitting having a drink in the old, that was back in the late 70s, back in the day. And it was always fun going down there.
Nice. Yeah, well, Nigel Ben actually moved into my road. He lived two blocks away from where I was. You could always tell when he came in because you could hear him before he even got there with his car. The sound system, he must have been deaf by the time he got home. And then he changed from, what was it, a Mercedes to a Bentley, and then all of a sudden he was in the local newspaper. Some fella walked past, whacked his wing mirror off, and he chased him down the road. And of course, all the lines in the paper was, "I only slapped him." Bloke's nose was spread right across his face. I only slapped him.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, he's lad boxers now, Danny, and he's supposed to be fighting Eubanks, lad.
Yes, yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
Chris,
point.
yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. and what's his name?
Can't remember. Big Ben.
Big Ben. You were right on time with that one, mate. Oh, brilliant.
Jez, ask someone else asking, was Henry Cooper good? I haven't really watched these fights properly.
Well, I remember him quite well when I was a kid, and I thought he was a great boxer. He was always sort of upright and steadfast, you know what I mean? Actually reminded me of one of my uncles, but he was proper Queensbury rules, mate. Proper boxer. Always had his guard up, great fighter.
Yeah, had the guard.
Conor Ben.
Oh,
Conor
Ben, that's it.
Yeah.
Did he actually box? Did he train upstairs then, Jez, in the pub you went into?
Yeah. He'd sort of come into the end by then, but he used to be there, and it was his gym, basically. And he was obviously there bringing on young boxers and whatever. And it was a proper big pub, the old Green Man. And I think I'm no knowledgeable person about boxing, but I think a few decent boxers come out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he fight Muhammad Ali? I think he did once, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he fought Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually hurt Ali, didn't he? Ali said that the hardest puncher that he fought.
That's right. Yeah.
Was Henry Cooper. Henry.
Yeah.
He was certainly a big bloke, and
yeah, he was. He was about 6'6" or something, wasn't he? 6'7".
He's massive. His hands, man. Jesus Christ! I remember.
Hands like JCB shovels.
Yeah, he used to sit at the bar and with a half pint glass of whatever he was
Back in
drinking.
a sec.
Oh, mate.
And it was like it's disappeared in his hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like proper nice fellow, though. Proper nice guy. He'd sit there and talk to anybody that come in the pub and all that sort of shit. But yeah, nice guy.
It's a shame. Well, he said you don't see many real ones now these days, do you? That's for sure. Going on about Brazil, we was talking about the Brazil game. Did you see Robinho, the ex-Man City player? He's been trialled and he's going to be serving 9 years for rape. Apparently. For rape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrong 'un. Absolute wrong 'un.
So apparently this was in 2013 when he played for AC Milan. This was done,
Yeah, apparently.
and it's now it's now being done.
Quite
Talk
rightly.
about a fall from grace. But yeah, absolutely right. When you look at that, apparently it was a bunch of them, but I don't know. Not much mention about the others.
That would be great then, surely.
Well, you think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
So, bunch of them, grape.
Bunch
Never
of
mind.
blood. Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry. Make light of it. I shouldn't make light of it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Exactly that, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble now. But no,
Again,
seriously though, I mean, it's fucking wrong, isn't it? I mean, like people in position of, respect or whatever, high positions, these people, they seem to think they can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all these historic
Absolutely
cases in
fuzz.
the UK, like Gary Glitter and Rolf Harris and all them lot.
Vince McMahon.
All of
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As
All
an
of them,
empire crumbled.
Yep. This is true.
Yeah.
No,
That's
this is
what
very true.
That's what money, unfortunately, does to
One
people.
of the reasons why I don't.
Way of it.
No, you're right, Jez. You said the silly money they get, they think they're untouchable. Like just as Pepsi put on there as well, because we mentioned this last week. Danny Alves with his sentence, and he's got as well. Doing virtually the same thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think,
Hopefully they're rotting there.
Well,
Is-
yeah, exactly.
just because you might be fame and fortune, loads of money, and the world is your oyster, you can afford anything you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have any car, house, buy yachts, whatever you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And have your own private jet and all that bullshit. Doesn't mean that you go and rape a woman.
No.
No,
Man, disgusting.
no.
Yeah.
No,
And
exactly.
like in the cases of people, players that have been accused of domestic violence.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing gives anybody the right to do that, or like you say, sexually abuse somebody. Nobody has that right, and money does not give you a license to demand that right either.
No.
No.
I'm afraid I'm one of the old school like yourself, Jez, and probably all you guys on the panel here. I couldn't stand by and see any child or woman be physically or verbally abused. I can't stand by and watch it. I can't do it. I have to intervene. I can't. I'm one of these people. My dad told me that the most precious thing in the world are women and children. Nothing comes before them, and I've always lived by that, always. Like even to the point on match day, I go to the Carpenter's Arms, it's hench, it's full of people dancing, drinking, shouting, swearing, singing, laughing, having a great time. And there's this one guy that comes in, brings his son in with him, and he's the only under 18 that's allowed into the bar area. He has disabilities, and I believe he's got Down syndrome as well, but he's a really sweet lad. And they sit him down right near the dartboard, near the DJ, the two, and he sits there, and we kind of make space for him, but we don't ignore him. We include him when we're singing the songs and that, and he actually really enjoys himself, and there's a pub full of people with the same mindset as me. If anybody said anything about that child, there would be hell to pay, because everybody there is of the same kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how people like this, Mason Greenwood, are getting away with things. If he's done what they said he did, then surely he should be punished for it. Not a fucking great solicitor that's going to get him off.
Well,
know?
it comes as Fuzzy alluded that it all comes down to if you can rub them two things together.
Punishment should be worse for them, to be fair.
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Bellingham is in trouble for apparently calling Greenwood a rapist.
Well,
Well, and I don't. No, let me rephrase that. I don't think
If the cap fits.
Yeah, he's just calling him out, and I think that's fair play on Bellingham for doing that because the guy is a fucking wanker. He isn't a rapist, so he can do one in my book.
Makes you wonder if was it at his club level or international level he's calling that.
I think he was on the pitch, wasn't it, when they was
It
playing
was-
against each other.
Yeah, Real Madrid's Getafe game.
Ah, right. Okay. Interesting.
Mm.
You agree on some occasions people make false accusations in which slips for money. Yeah, there is that as well to it.
There is that.
Yeah, there's actually quite a high number of people that do that. I would think anyway. I mean, you're always hearing about it.
Yeah.
Hardly a month or whatever goes by without hearing someone trying to get money out of some celeb for some reason.
Yeah, of course. And then, of course, Friday, Nike with the New England shirt and changing the St. George's cross. What do we make of that? I mean, obviously, the FA have, as always, because they see the pound and pence sign, and they've actually kind of said, yeah, it's fine, not a problem at all. We'll just change centuries of tradition, and we'll go with this new design because it's modern, it's all hip, it's what we want.
It's
woke culture. When woke culture comes to play in the sport, waste of time.
So
Keep that out of the game.
Does that mean that in the near future, the WSL is probably going to accept
They'll change the
people
three
that
lions.
were born a male that decide to want to be a female?
Well, there is that talk of that league, isn't there? Anyway?
I think it's 3 unicorns on the shirt, isn't it? Now.
Change them from 3 lions to 3 pussycats.
Yeah. But
The lions represent too much masculinity.
No, what I'm saying is,
toxic.
are we going to be having players in the Premier League, for example, that were born women or born female, that have gender changed, or is it going to go the other way? Like WSL going to have players that were born male and have gone through gender change?
Well, they are talking about that in the women's thing, aren't they? Bringing in the.
It shows a Canadian footballer who classes herself as non-binary. So
does that mean
it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard?
Sorry, Jess.
So at the start of a game, right? Yeah. At the start of the game, and at half time, you get a substitution, right? The lino will check the boots of the player, right?
Yeah.
Is that what the lino's going to make them drop their shorts?
You just don't do
Will he be checking the boots?
Honestly, it's bollocks himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or the other thing beginning with B?
The thing is, I have no objection, right, to people deciding, what gender they want to be, non-binary or whatever the case may be. I mean, they can be microwave ovens for all I care. But if you're born a male, then you're a male. If you were born a female, then you're a female, regardless of what you call yourself. And that should never cross over in sport, unless it's a mixed sport, like for example, mixed tennis. Mixed doubles tennis or some. Where there is an acceptance of one male, one female, or half male, half female group, whatever. Where there is an acceptance for that in sport already, fine. I've got no issue with it. But to have, a gender change in sport that is generally for a man or generally for women, whatever the case may be, it's completely wrong, and I don't think it should happen. Probably will.
It's dangerous for a start.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Boxing, MMA,
yeah.
you know, I mean, you
Yeah.
just can't do it.
No, true. Mind you, though, there are quite a lot of women I would not want to get into a fucking boxing ring with. my sister being one, Happy Amoret being another, and there's one or two others as well. Yeah, so no. My daughter wouldn't want to get in a ring with her. Good God. Punch me lips off.
That's
No, I think it was a basketball game as well, where there was like a college basketball, women's basketball game. I think it was a basketball game, and I think it was one of the players who was a bloke identifying as a woman trying to compete, and ended up injuring 3 of the other team's players.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, that's someone who's physically superior, much more of an aggressive, approach to how they play the game. Because I mean, male basketballers, if they leave the ground and they go flying towards you in front row, you're going to get flattened by them.
Yeah, that would be the equivalent of putting Erling Haaland into the women's team. Man City.
I can imagine him already just.
Can you imagine what the defences would be like with all the other teams? They would be broken legs and fractured ribs and
be like
or Adama Traore or Akin Febra.
You know what I mean?
Watching The Undertaker versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, but I mean, there was that MMA one where they actually broke the woman's skull.
Jesus.
It's just wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It's very, very wrong. Yeah. Anyway.
No,
I've had my rant about the woke thing.
I'm just trying to get the picture up. I couldn't get it on there at the time. But the gay, no, it's not a gay flag. It's kind of, basically, it's not red, all red. It's kind of purple and blue. And
it looks trans colours to me.
It's a rainbow one, man. It's rainbow.
It is, isn't it? That'll be the shirt one day.
Yeah.
That's not high.
No.
It's like this. It was the other day. This one council have stopped or tried to stop bakers, right, making hot cross buns with a cross on them. They don't want to upset the local community for Easter.
What the
hell is that about?
We're going to have to stop celebrating it then. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's it.
It's like,
No
don't
more
say
Easter
Merry
egg.
Christmas anymore. Merry
No.
Christmas.
Oh, there was that cake shop that got sued as well because 2 guys wanted him to do a cake with 2 men on the top, but he was like a proper religious guy and didn't agree with it, and he got sued.
You didn't make me a cake. How dare you? I'm getting the government onto you.
It's clan world.
I don't want to accept your service.
Man. Surely
Like
any
refuse.
business has the right to refuse.
Of course they do.
Man's literally decided, you know what?
Well, they did 10 years ago.
For refusing to take my money. How dare you?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. As long as they didn't stop
Bonkers.
Federation. As long as they didn't stop Federation wanking day, because I'll be fucks.
Oh, dear. Lower the tone, Anthony. Go on, son.
I know. I just think it's what it is. I mean, I'm not being funny. I've got to see George's flag, and all fairness, I put it on my I put one on my fence. I put one on my shed, and that's it. And then, not being funny, next door, he does exactly the same, and they're Welsh next door, and he puts his Welsh flags up. A mate of mine the mate of mine lives three doors up from me. He's half English and half Ukrainian, and he puts he honest to God, he puts an English flag up and the Ukraine flag up as well. So I've got no problems with it.
I've got an
whatever.
Indian guy. I've got an Indian guy next door, and he puts up England flags, and he helps me put mine up as well.
I mean, a guy down there, he got St George's. He got on his garage door. He's painting all his garage door white, and he's put the red cross, and he's done it really clever because it's all done to detail. So that and that's it. But I mean, I think it's each to their own. At the end of the day, is our team, whoever team is qualified for the World Cup, and if they want to celebrate their own team in the World Cup, great.
Fair enough.
That's it.
When did we become so thin-skinned and easily offended?
When did it become wrong to be proud of the country you were born in?
Exactly.
Different thing altogether.
I'm just proud to represent it.
Point is,
Exactly.
why should we be swayed by people, right, that have come to this country and think they have the God-given right to tell us what to do? That's the question. That's the question.
It's not always the people that have emigrated into the country. It's the people accommodating those people.
Well, that's the point. That is the point I'm trying to say. Is that we will allow people to. Certain people, certain councils will support that bollocks. At the end of the day, I'm not political, I'm not racist or anything like that. I'm not into religion. But at the end of the day, it's each to our own, right? But we should not be told what to do in our own country. For a council to turn around and say and complain.
I like that question, by the way.
Complain to this baker, you're making hot cross buns. It offends the local community. It's a fucking bun.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's where we're getting to.
Fun gate.
It's a bloody raisin and
Answer
current
this
politics, I'm
question,
telling you.
Yeah. Let's
Andrew,
get onto this
Andrew.
question. Yeah, let's get onto this question. And because I think that's another show together. That conversation about that. Wow. So if you could choose one around Arsenal to win the Premier League, would you pick Tottenham's new stadium or Old Trafford? For me, it would be Tottenham. That would be 3 times.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Tottenham's new stadium. Yeah, and Fuzzy, if you'd like to bring the stadium up in your background, you could do the honours. There we go. That's where we're going.
Can I throw another stadium into that mix then quickly?
Go on then.
The Etihad.
Out of those, the empty head. Yeah.
Which one would you prefer to win it at?
It'd still be Tottenham for me. It'd still be Tottenham. Yeah.
All day.
I'd love to win a league at Anfield.
Got to stick it up.
That's a good point.
I'd love to win a league.
But yeah, I know, Budgie. Yeah, but Budgie, look at the comment that Drew Gunners has put. That's probably
a great point.
That's a great comment of the night, I think. It's the only time it will see a trophy.
Or the Juniors Karting Cup.
Come on, let's not make light of the Audi Cup.
The Audi. Yeah, the Audi Cup. The Audi. That's true. That's true.
And the Tiger one, they won it in a friendly.
The Tiger one, yeah, exactly. Bloody hell. And on a sad note, as we're getting near to the end of that, I don't know if you was aware, Budgie Hugh Southern passed away. He's the kind of founding member of Claret and Hugh.
Claret and Hugh, yeah. I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a journalistic career, and then ended up doing this, his own channel and podcast. And unfortunately, he's sadly passed. So he leaves a legacy on. He worked at Fleet Street International, a national journalist, freelance reporter. He worked for The Sun, The Daily Express, The Star, The Sunday Mirror, News of the World, Sunday, Daily Sport, and The Guardian. All the good things. On the Sunday Sport newspaper, he became the ghostwriter for the late, great Bobby Moore for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, bit of a shame. 1946 to 2024.
Rest in peace, sir.
Yeah. I'm just seeing some pictures of him, basically. So as we're getting near to the end, and that, Jez, if you'd like to shout your channel out, please, sir.
Yeah, it's Arsenal history and more. So all the Arsenal. Do match reviews, watch longs occasionally, and just general chat. What the hell? Wednesday night is
Podcast again.
yeah. Wednesday night I'm doing a show with Lee and Kenny about the 9802 teams, and then match review on Friday night. I've got a new guest coming on there, possibly. Anthony, if you're around, if you want to join me for that one, match review.
Yeah, I'll join.
Be about 7 o'clock-ish, something like that, guys. Yes, that's all about it is, mate. And thanks for having me on once again.
No, you're quite welcome. You're very welcome. And Anthony, you'd like to shout yourself out, please, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what to shout out. I ain't gonna bother shouting out your socials because it ain't worth it. Yeah, you can find me on this show here on the Sunday Night Takeaway, and obviously on Wednesday where we do the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you could just see me on various shows. So you basically just call me a YouTube whore.
He don't get paid though. He does it for free.
Does it?
Yes, that was a secret.
Indeed. Fuzzy, you'd like to shout yourself out, please.
Yeah, find me Hot Fuzz 44 OG on YouTube, on Instagram as well. So probably one or two bits this week regarding some transfer talk, as there's a lot of the run-of-the-mill stuff with journalists throwing stories out there. Also talks about the manager situation, which I've already covered a video with Southgate, pretty much briefly covering Southgate, but maybe sort of discussing a few of the other candidates as well, because there is a short list out there floating around with quite a few names on there. So probably that show coming up either a Monday, Tuesday, if not maybe, as I know I'm usually invited to Uncle Rod's shows on a Monday, I think it is at 9 p.m. So I don't know if you end up sending me an invite for that as well. So I might be on Uncle Rod's on tomorrow night, but we'll have to see.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
wait,
find me.
Meant to go before the show starts, then he'll send you the link like last time.
You and me both. But yeah, otherwise, episode 11 of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, featuring Wednesday 8:30 p.m. Catch us over there.
And Anthony's unibrow.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
The golden unibrow, the unibrow truth.
Brilliant.
Oh, the last one didn't look right.
He looked perfect, mate. He looked perfect. Budgie, you'd like to set your good self out, please.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me on again, Tony. Much appreciated. Love seeing all you guys. You can find me on Green Street Elite. That's my channel. Doing little bits and bobs on there. Don't do reviews and post-match and pre-match and all that sort of stuff very often. I like chatting to football fans, so that's most of the content you will find. I also do a show on Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock, 10:30 actually, on West Ham Network, called The Old School Hammers, and it's just myself and Kieran, who lives in Australia, just chatting about all things football, mainly West Ham. But on Wednesday we had a really interesting chat about VAR and the officials, so that kind of stuff. Next week I'm not sure what we've got planned, but it'll be a good one. Thank you.
Thank you much, mate. And last but not least, the best one, Yeti, how are you, mate? And like to shut yourself out as always.
I'm all good, mate. Cheers for having me back on the takeaway. I've enjoyed it. All you guys, awesome, and everybody who's in the chat as well. You find me at Long Eared Yeti's Cave, talking it real, no bullshit. And, we've already got sort of things going on with Forest. Apparently, MJW is going to be sold, or Murillo's going to be sold at the end of the season, which sucks. But, it is what it is. And basically, I haven't really been doing any watch-alongs for the internationals because, to be quite honest, watch Gareth Southgate's England, I'd rather fry my bollocks, to be fair. So that won't be happening. Well, I'm not sure about the bollocks. I might do that. It might be fun. But, so Long-Eared Yeti's Cave. Also, make sure, just drop this as well. Drew Gunners, make sure you substitute, keep saying substitute. Make sure you sub to Drew Gunners. He needs to get up to 50 so he can actually do some live stuff on YouTube, so help him out. And so doing watch-alongs will be back next week, so I can drown my sorrows watching my shit team try and get out of relegation. And then just be gaming and video reviews, movie reviews. Got one coming out tomorrow for the new Roadhouse, which is an absolute fucking road crash, to be fair. It's awful, man. It's awful. Why they had to remake it, I have no idea. But anyway, they did. Long-Eared Yeti's Cave. Terrible, mate. I don't get it. But yeah, Long-Eared Yeti's Cave. Come over there, let's have a chill and a chat. Cheers, Tony.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. And just before we go in there, for those who are still in the chat, thanks for being with us in there. And don't forget, Jez will be signing these albums. $4.99 on KTEL. Don't forget them as well. And
where do I get hair like that? I need my hair done like that, Jez.
It's a good album. It's a good album.
Superb.
Not bothered about the album, I'm bothered about the haircut.
Bang at the old bull in the bush.
Exactly. And what I will do, I'm going to play, my good friend's little epitaph I did for him, and that is the end. So if you'd like to raise a glass for my friend Gideon, may he rest in peace. And
yeah,
we all
R.I.P. man.
R.I.P.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you all next time. And look out for me, Fuzzy, and Anthony on Wednesdays with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as we will do, we put the description in the chat after when we've done this stream for all these people on the panel. Make sure you go and subscribe to those guys. Other than that, good night.
Right.
Good night.